Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. They've got a busy slate, so skip Shannon. Let's get to it.
Welcome to Undisputed. We are live from LA. I'm Jenny Taft here with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe. Good morning, guys.
Good morning, Jen.
I'm good.
You know, I'm starting to wonder, are the Lakers even going to make the play-in tournament? Seriously, come on.
What?
LeBron's got to come off vacation one of these nights, right?
We talked about this.
Where's he, in St. Kitts?
They were in the third spot, and I said when LeBron and AD went down, they would hopefully get the play-in. So don't do that. Don't do that.
Don't do it?
I just did it.
You just did it. You just did it. Yeah, all right. You know who else did it? He made his return. Kevin Durant. We begin by discussing all the latest. So KD made his return from a bruised thigh with an impressive performance off the bench. KD put up 33 points in 28 minutes on 12 of 21 shooting in a 128-119 win over the Suns. The performance prompted Skip to tweet this. Skip, I'll do my best here. Kevin Durant proves once again he's the best player on the planet. The man has played only 24 games this year, returned today and scored 33 in just 28 minutes as Nets without Harden easily beat the no-joke Suns. Come on, blind witnesses, give it up. KD is way better than LBJ. Wait. Way better than Shannon. What is your response to Skip's tweet?
Ernestine needs to take your phone during the game. That's my response. Skip, baby, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. Skip, look, KD is great. KD is a great player. He is a historically great player. He is a transcendent player. And am I surprised the way KD played? No. I think the thing is when a player, has shown you over time that they're great, one should not be surprised when they show you their greatness. I think the thing for me is the highest compliment I can play a player is that when he or she be great, is that how easy they make it look. Kevin Durant makes it look so easy. That's why people are in such awe of him. The guy's missed, has only played a handful of games this year. And after being off for a year and a half, he comes in and picks right up where he left off after the Achilles injury. He goes down and he picks right up where he left off after he has the hamstring injury. He goes down with a thigh contusion and he picks right back up. So I'm not surprised. KD is great. There's nothing to say about KD, but we just can't look at one game. Yeah, he had a great game yesterday, 33, 6, and 4. But let's not act like LeBron hasn't done that, Skip. LeBron was the MVP frontrunner before he went down. The guy just came off the finals, won the finals and finals MVP, averaging 28, 11, and 9. So let's not pretend like, you're trying to make it seem like, Kevin Durant can do things. And yeah, he can shoot the ball way better than LeBron. Yes, he can. But what LeBron is asked to do game in and game out, I don't think is comparable. So this is what we do know. We've seen Kevin Durant play 25 games since the 2019 NBA Finals. The most consecutive games that Kevin Durant has played is 6. That's not conjecture. That's not innuendo. That's fact. Availability is very important. So for me, KD was great. KD showed that he was great. But this, I think yesterday was not about, because if we're going to just do it about what he showed yesterday, Steph Curry is the best player in the NBA. If you want to base it on what you've seen over the last month, did you see Steph yesterday? Did you see Steph?
2 games back when he went 2 of 14.
Oh, did you see him when he went 10 of 18? Did you see him when he went 11 of 17? Did you see he got 83 threes in the month of April?
Did you know he's still under his career average from the three-point line? Just for the record.
Oh, on his career average.
Yep.
So because he's not shooting 60% from the three, the guy's averaging scoring more points than he scored even in his unanimous MVP season. You want to deduct him for that.
Do you believe that Kevin Durant is not as good as Steph Curry?
That's not what the good...
Okay.
Skip, I never said... See, what you said is that Kevin Durant is way 15 times better than LeBron. I never said that Kevin Durant was not as great as LeBron. But I believe LeBron is the better player. See, that's what you do. When I said, well, what about Steph? Steph is having an MVP season, had every bit the month or the season that Kevin Durant's had. Are you saying that Kevin Durant is not as good a player as Steph Curry? No, I didn't say that. But just like you shouldn't say Kevin Durant is 15 times greater than LeBron, because he's not. I believe they're very comparable players. They do a lot of different things, but I believe LeBron James is the better of the players. Kevin Durant played yesterday. I really was hoping that we talk about Kevin Durant, but somehow I knew you was going to try to find a way to finagle in to try to say Kevin Durant is better than LeBron, which I disagree with.
Okay. My turn. In my career covering the National Basketball Association, dating back to the mid-1970s out here for the LA Times when I covered the Los Angeles Lakers, I have never, ever seen anything like Kevin Durant. He is the unicorn. You can have Porzingis or his twin unicorn, Luka. You can have any other unicorn you want. This guy is all-time great freakish because I've never seen anything like the way he plays, the way he plays with rust, and the way he responds to any kind of off-field, off-court controversy. The more he beefs, it could be with you or Michael Rappaport or me or anybody else, because he's going to have a beef of the week with somebody, the better he plays. The more games he misses, the better he plays. No, that's never happened before. Prime example, case in point, right under our nose right now. Anthony Davis has come back covered in rust. And I'm not criticizing him because he should be covered in rust.
Right.
Because he missed a whole bunch of games, and he's trying to figure it back out and get back in shape. You know how it goes. You lose your wind, you lose your legs. You're not sure, you lose your touch. And right now, Anthony Davis has come back and played 2 games, both of them losses to Dallas, and he has combined to shoot in those 2 games 7 of 29 from the floor. That's 24%. He is 0 for 7 from 3. That's 0%.
Correct.
Meanwhile, Kevin Durant comes back yesterday, and it looks like he's not in midseason form. It looks like he's in Game 7 of the finals form. It looks like he hasn't missed a single dribble, and yet he's now played a grand total of 25 games over 2 basketball seasons.
Yes.
That's impossibly great. So if we could just see the level he was playing at yesterday, remember, he's 32 years of age. He's at the height of his powers. LeBron now is in year 18. He's lost a little bit. He was on a nice roll early, but we'll see what happens as he tries to knock off the rust when he comes back.
Right.
But if we could see what happened yesterday, Kevin comes in the game. He opted. This is vintage Kevin. He opts to say, no, Steve, I'm going to play. Here's the first shot that he comes in. Remember, this is mid-second quarter. Look at that. That's a hard shot. You want to talk about a touch shot running to your left?
But that's it. That's a Kevin Durant shot.
Okay, but it's a hard shot. It's a touch shot. It's a feel shot. It's a rhythm shot, and you shouldn't even be in rhythm. And remember, he asked Steve Nash, could I come off the bench? What superstar would say, let me come off the bench because your pride wouldn't allow
Well,
it?
Skip, you remember when he missed all those games before, he came back off the bench, which caught everybody by surprise. But I believe coming off the bench, he gets an opportunity to see the flow of the game and can relax, and he doesn't have to worry about them getting out of character
Have you
trying to get
ever
him the
heard
ball.
of any superstar who came back? They just wouldn't do it.
No.
Even Shannon Sharpe, if you came off injury, you'd say, I'm a starter. I start the game.
But
and we'll figure it out.
I've been injured during the season.
Yep.
And coming back in, it's a lot different because you get tired easy, and all of a sudden, it seems like you hadn't caught the ball in forever. You get in the game after being out 4 or 5 weeks. Kevin Durant was out for 2 months.
Okay, so he waits until the 8-minute mark of the second quarter to even step onto the floor. And then with 6:05 left, he makes that shot. And then they're able to save him enough that they can play him later in the game, which is good because the Suns are really good. And they can really defend at a high level. So they're up, the Nets are up 5 going to the fourth quarter. And now if we could see what he did on his first 2 shots, he scores the first 5 points of the fourth quarter. Here's the first one. That's a hard shot. It's a hard going left as hard as you can shot over Ayton, up off the glass. It's like vintage Kevin Durant. And Kyrie's out of his mind. And then here he comes right back down the next possession. And we've seen that in the NBA Finals in LeBron's face, right?
From 25.
Isn't that what it is?
Yep.
Okay. And that puts them suddenly up 10, and the game is basically over. And then a little icing on the cake. This is what you can also get from Kevin Durant. Devin Booker was having a big game, and he's trying to shoot them back into the game late in the game. And if we could see what happens when he drives on Kevin Durant, and Kevin gets the LeBron Memorial chase down, which he's like 7 feet. In fact, Monty Williams called him before the game 7'1". He thinks he's 7'1". And sometimes, if you've ever stood next to Kevin Durant, which I have, he's He's towering.
Well, I watched him yesterday, Skip, and I'm looking at him standing next to Blake Griffin, and they say Blake Griffin is 6'10". He's way taller than Blake Griffin.
He's just way taller.
So,
and not only is he tall, he's incredibly long.
Yes, he's long. Yeah.
So when he decides to rim protect, which he picks his spots, but when he decides, the value of rim protection on him is extreme because whatever they're lacking, whatever you say in the interior that they're lacking right now, he can provide in the biggest games.
Yeah, well, I mean, Skip, they got DeAndre Jordan, but they're only going to play DJ, 20, somewhere between 18 and 22 minutes.
But he'll give you all he's got.
All you got for 20 minutes.
Okay,
that's,
I got it. So the Monty Williams quote was actually before the game yesterday because they knew Kevin was going to come back. And he was trying to make the point of how you guard away from him is different than how you would have guarded before on another guy who couldn't shoot from 40 feet from the basket, is 7'1", and dribbles like a guard. Yeah. That's Kevin Durant, right? Okay. So now let's look at the stats so far. It's a mere 25 total games right now. Look what Kevin's doing so far as a net. And he looks really happy as a net because he and Kyrie are, as you know, BFFs. And it's such a great fit because they're vibing off each other and they're having fun with each other. And Kevin right now is shooting 54% from the floor. That is a career high. He's shooting 47% from three. That is a career high. And are you ready for this one? From 10 to 16 feet. Right now, I know it's a small sample size, 25 games. Kevin Durant is making 57% of his mid-range jump shots, 10 feet to 16 feet. If you take the 31 players who attempt more than 17 shots a game, and he qualifies for that, he's number one in the NBA from 10 to 16 feet. By the way, by example, by comparison, LeBron from that distance, 10 to 16 feet, is 39%. LeBron's shooting 37% from three, which for LeBron is pretty good. But remember, LeBron can drive it like nobody can drive it. He's 51% from the field. Kevin is 54% from the field. He's having off-the-chart shooting year in a small number of games, only 25 games. But nothing seems to bother him where he can sit out for 20 games, and then he can sit out for 3 games, and it just doesn't matter.
He missed a year and a half. And remember, he came back opening night, and he looked like Kevin Durant. And everybody says, well, he's Kevin Durant. Skip, he's great. He's shown over his career that he's great. So we shouldn't be surprised when he shows us greatness. I think we should be in awe when a person, he or her, shows us how effortless it can look. Serena doing what she does, Tiger doing what he did. Skip, we shouldn't be surprised because over time they've shown us they're great. But how do you make it look so easy? How does Kevin Durant get looks like that after being off? How effortless he makes it look, like wrong foot, left foot, right foot, pull up, heavy pull up from 28. The mid-range game, as you talked about. Like you said, Skip, he's 6'11", 7 foot tall. He's shooting the ball at an arc that's 12 feet. You can't block that. You just hope he's having an off day. The great players, you don't stop them. You just hope you can bother them enough, and they're having an off day, and you're like, okay, yeah, he didn't go for 40. He only had 26, but it took him like 18, 19 shots to get that. But if they're great players of their own, and that's what Kevin Durant is, a great player, you can't stop him.
And then finally, from the free throw line, he's 87%. He's often been up to 90%. And LeBron is at 70%. So he's going to help you a lot from the free throw line. And by the way, in the fourth quarter yesterday, as Phoenix was trying to make their run, Durant scores 14 points. And he makes all 4 of his free throws.
Well, the thing was, Skip, is that Kyrie had it going early. If you look at the first quarter, the first half, they could do nothing with Kai. So now Kai's perfect from the three-point line. He's dancing with the ball, getting the ball to the... You know he's money from the free throw line. What was he, another 9 for 9 yesterday from the free throw line, Kyrie? And I think, and that's what, when I watch Kevin Durant come off the bench, I think he wants to see how the game is going to be played out. Okay, where can I come in, impact the game without getting in anybody else's way? If you look at it, Kyrie was still dancing in the third quarter, Skip. He didn't step on KD's toes. KD didn't step on Kyrie's toes. So I think for me, watching KD and what he decided to do by coming off the bench, he got an opportunity to see the flow of the game, what was going to be needed, what was going to be asked of him, and then he just fit right in and took off. But like you said, I think it goes to show a lot about him because there are not very many superstar guys volunteering to bring their butt off the bench. No, I'm a starter. I'm going to be in the starting lineup. But He's like, hey, I'm good. I'm going to get mine.
It's more weird, Kevin, because we both agree he's the thinnest skinned superstar we've ever closely observed. It's always something with him off the court where last week he's thinking of his top 5 teammates, and he thinks for 15 seconds, as Chris Broussard pointed out, about the 5th player, and he picks Serge Ibaka instead of Russell Westbrook because he wants to be in the crossfire.
Or he liked the tweet that said Steph was trash and needed an MVP and 3 other all-stars to win 2 titles.
And I keep trying to tell you, I believe all of the above fuels him on the court. When he comes in, it's like he heaps good pressure on himself to live up to his off-the-court persona as a contrarian. He's always against the grain on everything, right? He can almost be a curmudgeon. He's like picking battles everywhere he can pick one.
Well, I think the thing is, Skip, is that in wrestling, it's called a heel.
Yep.
He's the bad guy.
Yeah, he's a bad guy. And he loves being the bad guy.
No, I think he wants to be a good guy, but he's accepted the role. He's embraced the role as being a bad guy. Yep. You say, well, y'all not going to love me like y'all love Steph, like y'all love LeBron and some of these others. Oh, the hell with that then. I'll just be me. I'll start a beef when there should be no beef there, and I'll just go show you. And you wonder how, with all this going on, me going bickering back and forth on the internet, how can I still go drop 33 in the amount of time that I played with all this circling around me? Just goes to show you I'm who I am. I'm great, and ain't nothing y'all can do about it.
That is correct. How many players would have hesitated and said no to joining 73-9 Golden State?
To be honest, I don't know if there's any player of his caliber. Skip, normally guys join great teams.
Yep.
They're on their last leg. They're trying to get a championship. They're not one of the 2 best players in the NBA and go join that team. So, yeah, I don't think there are very many guys that would have joined that team considering the firepower that they already possessed before he got there. Normally, guys, like I said, guys on their last leg, Skip, year 18, 19, I'm trying to win a title. You see Adrian Peterson in football, Skip, saying he wants to go to a contender. He wants to be able to contribute. Well, Adrian Peterson in his prime would have said, guess what? I'm the missing piece. I'm AP. So, I get on any team and can make them into a contender. But Kevin Durant, what I saw yesterday, I was just in awe. I'm like, well, damn. Are you sure? Are we sure he missed 3 games? Are we sure he just came back over a week ago after missing 2 months? Because, damn, he been playing all year.
Never seen anything like it.
No.
Right?
No. But the guys now are so skilled. There was a handful of guys. Skip, we had Bird that can shoot the ball like KD. We had a few guys. Skip, there's a lot of guys that can just flat out shoot the ball now. So now when guys go out there and and from the three-point line, they need to move it back. Because guys shooting that like a 15-footer. I mean, Skip, did you see what Steph did?
Or make it a 4-point line, 5 feet.
Skip,
more.
You see, they roll the ball to half court. Steph Curry picks the ball up, takes 1 dribble, and splashes it. He loses the ball in the backcourt. He comes, takes 2 dribbles past half court, and lets it go.
Okay. That's all well and good to me, but I need to see that happen in big playoff games, and I have not seen that happen.
Skip. He's done it in big playoff games. Remember the game he came back and dropped 40 on Portland? He's done it in playoff games. Maybe he hasn't had that 40-point performance that we want to see in a finals game because all the really great players have really done it in an NBA finals game. We've seen Magic. We've seen Jordan. We've seen LeBron. We've seen Bird. We've seen some of our historically great players. Tim Duncan have almost a quadruple-double. Shaq, Kobe. We want to see Steph have the games that we've seen over the last month. We've seen him have 20-point game. As a matter of fact, Skip, they were trying to get Steph the MVP, the last title that they won. Instead, KD tried to get him the MVP, messed around and got a triple-double, and he won the MVP because he was feeding Steph. Steph was letting it go. I think Steph ended up having, 35, 37 points, and KD got a triple-double and won the MVP again anyway.
Okay, but what did you tell me? What did you concede to me even last week? Steph Curry drove up the Maserati to
Ferrari.
You said Ferrari.
Yeah.
Okay, a Ferrari out on Long Island, right? Out in the Hamptons to recruit Kevin.
He did.
And said, I'm going to scoot over to the passenger seat. He'd have to probably get out. Walk around.
I'll ride shotgun.
I'll ride shotgun and you drive.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I told you going into that first finals with Golden State, I pitied Kevin because I thought the weight of the NBA world was on his thin shoulders, right?
Yeah.
And what did he do? He went out in Game 3 in LeBron's palace and just took the game over and won MVP. I've never seen anything like that.
Right.
That's when he won me completely over.
Well, I think both guys, for Steph to be able to do that, Skip, we've never seen a superstar like Steph be willing to take a back seat in his prime to another guy. That doesn't normally happen. Now, I can't think. Now, maybe it has in basketball, and maybe we don't know about it. But a guy like Steph that's a two-time MVP, one-time unanimous, saying, you know what? Okay, fine. You coming here? I'm second. I can be second. I'm cool with that.
So if Kevin Durant is healthy and James Harden gets healthy.
Oh, you got your hands full.
Well,
You got your
then,
hands full.
boy, the Clippers are going to have their hands full in the finals. That's all I know.
There you go. There you go. I know
I'm
you
not going anywhere. That's what's going to happen.
Okay.
That's it. I picked the Clippers before the year started, but now I didn't know that James was going to be with Kevin and Kyrie. And now I just don't know if the Clippers can overcome them in the finals. I just don't know. It's just too much firepower.
What finals? You know the finals? You don't get to go. You don't get to go to the finals.
The NBA finals.
You don't get to go to the finals when you leave early. You know the Clippers will leave early.
Well, they're going to win the West.
You leave early.
Yeah.
They don't even
In
get
fact, they might just get to knock the Lakers out in round 1.
You don't even believe that.
Huh?
You don't even believe that.
I believe it with all my heart and soul. I've been saying it all year. Love what I'm seeing from the Clippers. Do not love what I'm seeing from the Lakers.
I don't love what I'm seeing from the Lakers.
Thank
either.
you.
But that'll go. He coming. Did you see him running this morning?
Yeah, he's
Did you see
coming.
him running wind sprints this morning?
I saw that.
Okay. You saw that.
Were those wind sprints?
You see it.
Huh?
You see it.
Those were winded sprints with an ED on it. Winded sprints, right?
Slowly. That build. that build. Well, let me ask you a question.
Heaving.
Skip, when you run a marathon, you run plenty of marathons. Do you go out there and try to run your fastest miles in the first half?
No, I save it for the last mile.
Then. So that was his first time running. We gonna build.
What did you say recently? A storm is coming?
Yeah.
If there's a leak upstairs at Staples, it's a leak.
Right. Guess what's gonna get flooded? The basement.
Yeah.
When there's a leak upstairs, what's the first thing to get flooded? The basement.
Well, the newest Laker, I'm going to have to start calling him Rummond because there's no D in Drummond, right? It's just Rummond.
Okay. Right now, Skip, everybody put us in the pick and roll. We having a hard time dealing with the high pick and roll. But we get it resolved.
Andre Drummond. Way to go.
I'm just glad that LeBron posted the video. He's making progress. He's on the court. That is a good sign for us.
No mercy.
Well, it appears the Chiefs have completed their offensive line rebuild after it fell apart, protecting Patrick Mahomes in their Super Bowl loss to Tampa. KC acquired Orlando Brown from the Ravens over the weekend to go along with guard Joe Thuney and Kyle Long on the newly reformed line. So, Shannon, does this make the Chiefs the prohibitive Super Bowl favorite?
I think the thing is, Skip, as long as Patrick Mahomes is there, they're always going to be a favorite contender. They're going to be no more than third. I love what they've dressed. They've dressed need. The offensive line, you go back and look at the tape, Skip, they feel this is where they lost the game at. Patrick Mahomes didn't have time to go through his reads. They didn't do a very good job. And what they gave up, the 31st pick in the draft, and I think they gave up what? They switched. They got Kansas City get a second this year, and I think they get a fourth the next year or something like that. So that's not a steep price to pay. Orlando Brown Jr. is 24 years of age. He's going to turn 25 this year. So a two-time Pro Bowl player that went to the Pro Bowl as a right tackle last year, filling in for Ronnie Staley after 11 games, goes to the Pro Bowl as a left tackle. You get him. You get Kyle Long, who's healthy. If Kyle Long was one of the better guards, he could also play right tackle. Was one of the better offensive linemen in all of football before injuries besieged him, and he stepped away from the game. They signed Joe Thuney, Austin Blythe, who started every single game for the Rams, Skip. And now, Niang and Laurent Duvernay-Tardif.
Yep. The doctor is in again, right?
Skip, they opted out. So I love what they've done. This is a complete overhaul of an offensive line, or what Andy Reid's estimation was a weak link, which caused us. And who knows? Maybe, Skip, if everybody's healthy, Tampa still beats the hell out of them. But I think it left a really nasty taste in his mouth that Patrick Mahomes spent the better part of that game running for his life. And he says that's not going to happen again. They upgraded their offensive line. I believe their offensive line is better than what it was last year. And are they the team to beat in the AFC? Yes, I do. The Chiefs get Orlando Brown, second round pick in the 6th round of next year. The Ravens get the first pick, 3rd round pick in the 4th round of next year, 6th round of next year. Skip, that's not a steep price. They completely overbid. So now, what can the Chiefs do with 2 second round picks? Defense. Whatever position you want. You want a D-line, you want a rush in, get him. You want somebody to parasite Chris Jones, get him. You want a linebacker, get him. You want a safety to go with Honey Badger or corner, go get him. You need defense. They've addressed the offensive needs. Now, maybe they're still in play for Antonio Brown, Skip. I don't know. But with the addressing of the offensive line, I think Andy feels good. And so now his mind he can rest easy saying, you know what? We shored up our offensive line. Now let's go get some defensive guys to go get after the quarterback. I love what Kansas City has done. They're a major player again.
Okay, so you didn't answer Jenny's question. Prohibitive favorites?
No, not the prohibitive favorites. No, there is no prohibitive favorites.
Really?
There are favorites. You look at them, you look at Tampa, Green Bay, but prohibitive, no. No.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to win next year's Super Bowl. I've already told you that.
Well, Fox Bet doesn't have them as the prohibitive favorite.
I got that. I'm just telling you what I believe, and I believed that last year, and you doubted me all year long, and it ended up costing you in the last 3 playoff games 15 cases of Diet Mountain Dew. And you're still not seeing the forest for the trees.
Do you believe Kansas City's offensive line is better than what they brought to the Super Bowl?
I know Orlando Brown. I watched every snap he took at the University of Oklahoma protecting Baker Mayfield's blind side, and he allowed 1 sack in all the time he protected Baker because he is a beast.
He's a mammoth of a man.
and he is a beast of a run blocker, too. For some reason, he had such an awful combine that everybody wrote him off. And I don't know. That's why you better be careful with your combines or your pro days.
What did it take? Because, Skip, they disregarded everything they saw on tape and took all the things that he failed at. You know, he ran slow in the 40. His measurable, first of all, I don't even know why offensive linemen running 3 cones. Why the hell they going to run 3 cones? They ain't running no 3 cones. They ain't changing the
He couldn't bench press.
Right.
Okay.
Skip, but what did the tape tell you? You said he gave up 1 sack. That was the same Orlando Brown that couldn't run very fast, couldn't jump very high or very far. He did that on tape.
Trust me, on tape, he bulldozed. Bulldozed. And everybody said, out, we're out. And he falls all the way to the 3rd round, and I'm sure Ozzie was in the middle of this and said, I'll take him.
That's what
3rd round, I'll take him. And a Pro Bowl happened, right? And here you go, and then he gets bitter about my father wanted me to be a left tackle, and his father was a really good NFL player, as you well know. And he wanted to play left, and they said, you got to move back to right. And so
they just gave Ronnie Staley $100 million.
I got it.
and he knows the money is at left tackle. Right tackles get paid, but they don't get paid like the left tackles get.
So he actually went NBA on an NFL team and said, I want out. And they said, okay.
That's one thing. Skip, the Ravens, they only want players that want to be there. And if you don't want to be there, they will do everything they possibly can to accommodate you. Now, they're going to try to get compensation, fair compensation. I believe this is fair compensation for Orlando Brown. But, you know, you get a 1st-round pick, you get a 3rd rounder, you get a 4th and a 6th next year. So
I got it.
But he wasn't happy. Like you said, he wasn't happy.
So clearly they have gotten more talented in their offensive line. I don't know if they've gotten more cohesive than they were 2 years ago because
they played together for it.
You're throwing all these new pieces together, and you never know how they're all going to fit. And they overpaid for Joe Tooney, but maybe it'll pay off because you had to overpay because you were that desperate to fix your offensive line. Okay, so now we look at Tampa's offensive line, and I remind everybody, they lost their left guard ahead of the Super Bowl. They didn't have Alex Kappa, and so they had to put Aaron Stinney in, a backup at left guard, and they managed to get through the Super Bowl with him at left guard. And Tristan Wirfs was a rookie right tackle playing in the Super Bowl. I didn't hear his name called. He didn't give up any
he was
sacks.
spectacular all year.
Okay, so, but he was a rookie. So, again, Alex Kappa is back, so I can argue that Brady's protection got even a little better going to next year. And what did Brady say during Super Bowl week? He vowed, we will be better next year. Well, they will be on continuity, reps, experience together, and everybody is back except for the moment, Antonio. and maybe he's the swing figure between Kansas City and Tampa. My gut tells me he's going to be back with Tom Brady.
Right.
Your gut tells you that he's going to get more money to play for Kansas City. We'll see how that all shakes out. Maybe after the draft, when the smoke clears and they all see what they came up with in the draft. I'm also going to remind you, Brady's team has every draft pick that they have spent none to get this good.
Right.
That they have, it's the bottom pick, obviously. It goes 32nd and then 64th, and it goes right down the line.
Right.
They have all 7 of their bottom-of-the-round draft picks. That's pretty valuable.
Yeah.
You can really take some shots to plug any hole that you think you might have.
Well, they've done a great job in the picks that they did. Like, they selected Levante David. They got Devin White, Mike Evans. So Skip, Chris Godwin. So when they have picked, now normally the picks are a little higher.
Yep.
But so this is foreign territory, Skip, for them to pick and be picking so far down. So now you got to be really, really good. Now maybe somebody's like, you know what? We want to come back up into the first round. There's somebody we like. Tampa, I wouldn't be surprised if Tampa trade out in the first round.
Could happen, especially if they're sitting on somebody higher in the second round. They think they could get more picks.
Yeah.
Okay, I got that. But they even added Giovanni Bernard, and you laughed or scoffed at that. But again, how do you do that? Because you said there's no way they can bring back everybody, and it cost you 5 more cases of Diet Duke. They brought back everybody, including your man Sue.
You talk about Giovanni Bernard, man.
Well, is it not a little icing on the cake?
No.
He's sudden.
He a cupcake with no icing.
Oh, stop it.
That's what he is, Skip. Stop it.
He's a third down back who can catch it. He's James White.
If you'd told me you got Alvin Kamara or Christian McCaffrey, I said, oh, it's over.
Okay, they don't need that. They already have that.
What they have it at?
They have Leonard Fournette. They have Rojo.
Now all of a sudden you love Lenny. You love Lenny.
Playoff Lenny. Was he not great in the postseason? He was great, and he's back.
Skip, he played well. Skip, he played
Everybody's back. And remember, they got Vita Vea back for the playoff run. So they are stout. Their corners were young, and they're just going to be a year better.
What did Fox Bet say? How many games Fox Bet say they're going to win?
I don't care. I'm telling you how many I think they're going to win, which is the last game, which is the Super Bowl. That's what I said.
They going to have a better record than Kansas City?
I don't care. I really don't care. I just know they're going to, if it's Kansas City sitting there at the end, they'll beat Kansas City again. Yes, they will, because your man Mahomes, boy, he's stunk up 2 Super Bowls.
There you go, Skip.
I don't know.
But you won't tell me. If Tom Brady had to play behind Kansas City's offensive line, do you believe he would have fared better than Patrick Mahomes?
Yeah, because he gets the ball out a lot quicker, and he reads it a lot quicker. And he doesn't think he has to make globetrotter plays every other play to live up to the hype.
So against Chicago, against the Rams, against
New Orleans,
the Saints, the first 2 times, why wasn't the ball getting out so quick then? When they was bashing his head in, when the offensive line was terrible. That's not what you said. You said they need to protect him. Now, with no protection, where are you going to throw the ball?
It took a while for the defense to come around. You know it, and I know it. And there were times late in the year when I thought the defense was not good enough to win a Super Bowl. And all of a sudden, starting at New Orleans, it detonated.
They won. But you and I both know Tom Brady would not have finished that Super Bowl if he was under the pressure that Patrick Mahomes was under from start to finish. You know that. I know that.
Well, maybe Mahomes brought it upon himself because he was ducking and darting too soon.
No, it wasn't. But see, we're able to do this because we gave him a hometown discount. We only making $45 million. We should be making $55. So that's why we're able to make these acquisitions.
Well, I'll give you that because his cap hit is even lower than Brady's going in next year. Then it skyrockets after that. So you better make hay while the sun shines on you next year.
Oh, we got it done. Yeah.
You better, but you're not going to be able to beat Brady in the Super Bowl.
Beat the brakes off.
I could see a rematch. I want to see a rematch.
Okay.
That would work.
Done.
Yep.
No mercy.
It's exciting stuff with the draft just a couple days away. Well, get this. The Ravens now have 2 late first-round picks after trading away offensive lineman Orlando Brown to the Chiefs. Former scout and NFL Network draft analyst Bucky Brooks believes that the Ravens should trade up to draft a quarterback like Justin Fields if he falls low enough on Thursday. Brooks believes they could bring in Fields while Lamar Jackson plays out his rookie deal without having to extend his contract and then move on to Fields as the starter. So this is interesting. Shannon, should the Ravens trade up for a QB?
Hell no. Lamar Jackson just won the MVP 2 years ago. He was a unanimous MVP selection. Is he as polished of a passer and quarterback as you'd like? No, but he's improving. I think if you I think what Lamar really needs is a big body receiver, Skip, that his catch radius, so Lamar doesn't have to be so perfect. We saw the leaps and bounds that Josh Allen made when they got him a #1 receiver in Stephon Diggs. We see what they do, what Patrick Mahomes has around him. We see what Tom Brady, how he looked when he got Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, as opposed to Julian Edelman and those guys he had his last year in New England.
You could throw Antonio Brown.
Yeah. So, Skip, for me, take a quarterback? When you got an MVP quarterback on you, I've never heard this before. I got an MVP that's 25 years of age on my roster, but I'm going to take another guy. And so when his contract is up, I'll insert the rookie quarterback that I drafted in 2021. Not knowing, I know what I got. If Lamar Jackson does not win another MVP, he's a MVP caliber quarterback every single year.
Yep.
Are we sure that's what Justin Fields is going to be? Are we hoping that's what he is? Are we sure that's what Trey Lance is going to be? Are we hoping that's what he is? I know for a fact Lamar Jackson's hands is going to be in the MVP discussion every year, solely because of his legs and because he can throw the ball. Skip, he's not Drew Brees. He's not one of these great throwers of the football, but he's getting better. He did lead the NFL in touchdown passes one year. He threw 36. He threw 36 touchdowns. So there's no way I would take a quarterback. And I don't believe a quarterback's going to be available. They're picking 31 and 25, 26?
But you do have the ammo now that you
to move up.
Yep.
No, that flies in the face of everything that the Ravens, how they normally do business. I don't see them moving those 2 picks. I believe if they move anything, they're going to move those picks and go get a receiver that can help Lamar, help what they are build out what they already have. There's no way I would take a quarterback.
Yeah, you being the Hall of Famer you are, I have listened when many Mondays you sat right there in that chair and you've had some issues with Lamar's ability to throw the football.
Let me ask you a question. Which one of these guys in college, Justin Fields or Trey Lance, had a better college career than Lamar Jackson?
Okay, but no. You're taking yourself off the hot seat because you have been doubtful about his ability to throw.
I said consistently. I didn't say he couldn't throw. I said consistently he misses throw.
You've gotten into it with Michael Vick occasionally on the show about, come on, we got to see more.
So we just go throw the baby out with the bathwater.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying you have had your issues.
Skip, but I got my issues with Trey Lance and Justin Fields. At least I know what Lamar Jackson can do at the NFL level.
Okay.
We have not seen them throw an NFL ball in an NFL game yet.
Okay. I know Bucky Brooks a little. I know his draft work a lot. And when he does speak, I listen and I think about it. And by the way, we're going to have Bucky on as our draft analyst later this week. I think Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, so that he will help us delve a little deeper into this and other draft matters.
Okay.
And I am looking very forward to having him on. I am with you. There's no way that I would give up on Lamar at this point. I have had my own concerns about his ability to consistently throw deeper passes.
Right.
He's a dart thrower, and he is a really good dart thrower. And when he got hot, he stayed hot for the whole season 2 years ago, 2019.
Correct.
And he ran away with MVP.
Yes.
And to your point, he threw 36 touchdowns to only 6 interceptions, and he led the whole league in QBR. It's hard to do that.
Yes.
You cannot take that away from this still very young man. So what happened to the Ravens last year? They got COVID racked and wrecked.
Yes.
It was one thing after another. It seemed like the whole team was down and out, and they're getting their games pushed back to Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday or whatever it was. It was craziness. And then all of a sudden, they caught fire when they got through the COVID madness. And they won their last, won 6, including the playoff game at Tennessee. And Lamar finally won a playoff game. And that was a big breakthrough
and
for
him. And he was sensational.
He was sensational. So then they go to Buffalo, and he wasn't very good, but the wind was galing. And I told you, I picked Baltimore to win that game. They were down 17-3 going to the 4th. And you know what happened on the final play of the 3rd quarter? He got concussed. He got whiplash concussed up against the carpet. And that was the end of him for the rest of that game. They were about to have downwind fourth quarter, and I thought he could have rallied them. Remember, he threw the one ball that got picked in the end zone and run back, whatever it was, 102 yards. It was absurd. And that's what made it 17. It was going to be a 10-3 game.
Right.
Okay. So here's my problem with your idea of needs the big catch radius receiver. Mark Andrews is really good. And I watched all of him at Oklahoma, too. And he's 6'5", 256.
Yeah, but...
So he's got a big catch radius, bigger than you're giving him credit for.
No, Skip. I'm talking about for the guy outside the numbers.
Okay, that I agree with you because you've had your tight end, and you've had other tight end. They had Hayden Hurst in the MVP year, and then he went to Atlanta, obviously, but still had Nick Boyle last year. But there's a gap in the middle because Hollywood's just icing on the cake. Because really, about all he can do is run by people, and he can really run by people. But you don't have that go-to, that number one receiver. You don't have Chris Godwin. You don't even have Mike Evans. You don't have that guy.
A DeAndre Hopkins or Julio.
Or Stephon Diggs.
A guy that puts fear.
Yes.
That we know he's going to get somewhere between 8 and 10 targets. And he's a threat anytime to break the game wide open.
Because Willie Snead's pretty good, but he's not that. He's a number 3.
Yeah, and he's gone now. He's in Oakland.
I got it. But I'm saying the MVP year, he was pretty good. But now you need, and this draft, listen, I've been reading deeper and deeper. It is so stacked and stocked with wide receivers. It's laughable how much. I consider Kyle Pitts a wide receiver, but obviously we talk about Jamar and Devontae and Jalen Waddle, and then here we go.
Yeah, if you want to package those guys and go up to get Kyle Pitts, okay, fine.
Maybe. Maybe.
But the thing is, for me, I just believe what Lamar has shown you and his ability to get better every year throwing the ball is that put another piece around him, a piece or two around him, and let's see what we have. Okay,
well, remember, in that MVP year, Lamar also ran wild in that year for 1,200 yards rushing, 7 touchdowns. It's impossibly great, and that's what put him over the top to be the runaway MVP.
He had another 1,000 yards last year.
I got it. And they led the league in rushing, which is not all bad. They also led the league in fewest pass attempts because they're just running the ball because they can.
Skip, the thing is, if I'm getting 5, 6, 7 yards a clip, I'm running the ball for 300 yards, 290 yards.
What would you do? You just keep running it, right? Okay.
Yes, that's what I would keep doing.
Led the league.
Yes, but I just don't. I can see if Lamar was struggling, if Lamar was had a season like the guy that just traded from the Jets. Skip, his name's
Darnold.
Sam Darnold. He had a season like that. Okay, Skip. I was like, I don't know. We don't know. Skip, the guy's been to the playoffs every year he started.
Is he a great thrower of the football? No. But is he a very good one? Yes.
I believe with another receiver, a bigger body receiver. Skip, that's what they tried to do. Remember, they signed Dez. They tried to get Dez, a big body guy that can come up and catch contested 50-50 balls. I like Hollywood, but the 50-50 balls at 5'9", I don't know about all that.
I don't either. I agree. But in the end, look, I told you, I love Trey Lance. I feel like in the end, his upside, I hate that word, but I'm going to use it because it's the only word that applies right now. His ceiling could be higher than Lamar's as a thrower of the football. I got that. So could Justin Fields. But again, how much longer can Lamar rely on his legs? Like, how many more years of that can you trust? That's the question.
Do you believe the Ravens believe that they're a Super Bowl contender?
Sure.
How does Trey Lance or Justin Fields help that process this year?
Not. You take a big step back.
Thank you.
You might turn it right back around in 2 years. But not next year. Well, there's no way. Unless you sort of Aaron Rodgers him and you just say, well, we got the kid on ice and you got to play one more year and then we're going to let you, as Bucky Brooks said, we're just going to let you graduate.
I mean, but the thing is, Skip, is like you said, you believe that the coach should have kept Peyton. Well, okay, the coach got Andrew Luck. Andrew Luck didn't win many playoff games as Peyton that they said was done. Peyton went to 2 Super Bowls. He won one an MVP, finished second another year. You get rid of Lamar Jackson, and he goes somewhere, Skip, and wins another MVP, wins a Super Bowl. They're going to run everybody up. Steve Bisciotti going to run everybody up out of there.
It's not how they do business.
Exactly.
Right.
They keep their homegrown talent, especially when they play well.
Okay, but I'm still intrigued by the notion of it. I don't completely discount it because you could also argue that he's going to be more and more injury prone running as much as he has, right?
Well, hey, if they give him some receiver, let's see. Give him a couple of weapons and let's see.
Okay.
No mercy.
The Cowboys could very well end up taking the first defensive player of the draft on Thursday night with the 10th overall pick. Several of the mock drafts out there have all 5 QBs, 2 receivers, plus tight end Kyle Pitts and offensive lineman Penei Sewell being taken with the first 9 picks, which would give the Cowboys endless options on defense. So, Shannon, if they have their pick of any defensive player on the board, what should they do?
Skip, I got my eyes on 2 guys, and since I was doing things for Fox Bet, I had to look at some defensive guys, the top 5 defensive players in the draft. I might surprise you with this one, but the guy that has the biggest upside, I believe, is Micah Parsons out of Penn State.
That doesn't surprise me a bit.
Skip, he opted out this year, so a lot of people are not going to remember him. But in 2019, he reminds you of a bigger, faster Devin White. He's sudden. You go back and watch him in the Cotton Bowl. 14 tackles, 2 sacks, 2 forced fumbles.
Defensive MVP.
Defensive MVP. He won the Butkus and the Pat Fitzgerald Award for the nation's outstanding linebacker. He's phenomenal. And you remember Penn State used to be linebacker U. Now everybody is, running back U or D-line U. But Penn State for the longest time, when you thought of linebackers, Penn State where it started and stopped at. Mm-hmm. And he's another one of these great linebackers coming out. If he's not there, Pat Surtain for me is it. I know Farley, the Farley kid. I know J.C. Horn. But when you watch Pat Surtain, he's the second. Mm-hmm. He's as technically and fundamentally sound as you'll see at that position. I'm talking about his hand placement. He can open. He can drive on the ball. He's so fluid in his turns. Mm-hmm. He is it. He's textbook. A lot of that has to do with his dad having played the position, knowing you read keys, tendencies, you get, you want to go in, how you want to funnel him, you turn, you drive him, you steer him. He has all that. So for me, Michael Parsons and Pat Surtain II, they would not be wrong if they took either one of those guys. You take an offensive guy, you're dead wrong. You're absolutely wrong.
Unless it's Kyle Pitts.
No, Skip, you don't need Kyle Pitts. You need defense. Don't you want to stop somebody, Skip? Or you like these shootouts?
Kyle Pitts is transcendent. I went on record like 2 months ago. He'll be better at his position than any of these quarterbacks will be at playing quarterback. That's how great he will be in the NFL.
But you won't be able to stop anybody.
But if he falls to 10, you just say, I'm sorry, we have to take him. That's how good he is. That's best player on the board.
You did CeeDee Lamb like that. And you gave up 500 yards rushing a game.
Okay. Back to the dilemma. So I already told you, if Trey Lance does fall all the way past 10, Trey Lance is going to hang over Jerry Jones' head for the next 10 years. If, in fact, this premise is right, and it well might be right, that Jerry will have the opportunity to take the first defensive player in the draft, that means every defensive player in this draft will hang over Jerry's head.
Correct.
Till death do him part.
Correct.
God bless him. I'm knocking on wood for him. Because you have the pick of the litter again. You have everything is at your fingertips at 10. Where it could be Micah Parsons. It could be any one of those 3 corners if you decide. I love Kwity Paye. I watched him a lot at Michigan. He leaps off my screen because he is a high motor monster coming off the edge. But 2 years ago was Michael Parsons. I watched him a lot, and there's that Von Miller, that Gumby-esque ability to sort of fold and lean on left tackles, right tackles. He just comes flying off the edge. So Michael Parsons, he measured 6'3", 246, and ran at his pro day 4.39. 4.39 at 246 pounds. This is like next level kind of stuff because the fastest linebacker had ever been timed was Shaquem Griffin, one of the twins in Seattle, as you remember. But he timed 4.38, and he was 3 inches shorter and 20 pounds lighter. He was 226.
That, like I said, Skip, you remember Devin White at the combine. He ran like 4.45. At 237, 6 foot, and you watch Devin White play, you like, man, this dude's sudden. Man, he quick. He's explosive. And then you watch him at the combine. Okay, check. You watch Micah Parsons, and you're like, damn, he quick. Oh, he's explosive. And you watch him at his pro day. Okay, check.
Check.
All the boxes match.
And by the way, he benched 19 reps at 225.
Right.
And as you know, that's good.
That's plenty good enough.
That's strong. Okay, so I don't care about 40s at some positions, but when you're that guy, when you're that rangy playmaker
go
at the weak side linebacker, give me 4.39 because it will translate.
Yes.
It will manifest itself in the way you play make during NFL games.
Correct.
So that's a hard call for me because the need pick, obviously, is the cornerback pick.
Right, yes.
And I am totally with you. It's almost like Patrick Surtain is a no-brainer. But is it no brains not to take Micah Parsons if he's sitting there at 10? Right. So Mel Kiper has Micah going 9 to your Broncos.
Right.
But I'm still not sure they're not going to take a quarterback if one's there at 9.
Right.
Todd McShay has Micah falling past Dallas to the Eagles. Well, I'd hate to see Micah Parsons go to the Eagles and just terrorize us for the next 10 years, right?
Yeah, but you know, look, all this goes back to, you know where this started. This happened in 1998. Jerry Jones had an opportunity to take an offensive player, and he passed. He took a defensive guy.
Yep.
Jerry Jones swore to himself that he would never, ever, I don't care if I got 10 receivers. If there's another great one, I'm taking it.
You're talking about Randy Moss.
He passed Randy Moss, Skip. Randy Moss was on a silver platter for him. And I think he took Spencer. I think he took a defensive linebacker.
Yep.
And he never forgave himself for that because you remember that Thanksgiving where Randy Moss came back and did to her. 3 catches, $163, and 3 touchdowns.
I was the columnist for the Chicago Tribune, and I campaigned in Chicago for the Bears to take Randy Moss. They also passed.
Right.
But Dave Wanstedt was the coach, and he told me right after the draft, hey, I couldn't take him because he showed up they had an interview scheduled in Chicago. And the morning he was at the hotel that they went to pick him up, he was nowhere to be found. That's what Dave told me.
Yeah.
But I think Randy was shrewd enough that he decided, I don't want to be a Bear.
Yeah.
So he showed up at the hotel and checked in and then got lost.
Right.
And he knew that would eliminate him from the Bears.
But that's what Jerry's thinking, Skip. Jerry's like, I let Randy Moss go. Can you imagine with Michael Irvin, Randy Moss, Troy, and Emmett? Jerry says that's true. That's at least 2-3 more Super Bowls, Skip, that I let go right through my fingers.
He lit them up on Thanksgiving. He put on the show of shows.
He did.
And it was all about Jerry Jones.
And Jerry's up in there and had the guy, hey, man, you need to clean these glasses because I don't know if I saw what I think I saw, but I think he got another touchdown on me. So, but for me, Skip, they need defense. They need a defensive player, and I don't think they're going to be wrong. The question is Michael Parsons and Pat Surtain.
Yeah. Okay, I'm with you on Patrick Surtain, and I watched him a lot. He is a textbook press man corner.
Yep.
You can just say, take him, and he will take him out of the game, I believe, whoever you put him on. And he's he's long enough and strong enough that he can just
6'2",
take you out.
Perfect,
Yeah, and he's got natural strength to him, and all of his footwork is perfect. Meanwhile, Trevon Diggs, the other corner from Alabama, is a cluer and a gambler and a rambler, and he's going to make big plays, and he's going to give up some big plays. So I like the bookends from Alabama. One I can trust every play. The other one I can trust to make a play occasionally and give up a play. You know, and I'll take the blend of those two corners.
Trevon Diggs is more Marcus Peters. You'll get him, but if you make a mistake, he's going to get you.
Okay, I got it. But are you sure that Dallas isn't sitting on Micah Parsons at 10? Because they well might be, because he may be just too talented to pass up, and you just laid it right on the table.
Yeah.
He just might be.
He's special. I believe he has the ability. That size, that skill set, you watch him on tape, you watch what he did at his pro day, and that's what you want. You just want the pro day to confirm what you see on tape, Skip.
Yeah.
That's all.
It's not a big body of work because he really only started for that 1 year, and then he opted out.
Well, here's the thing, Skip. He didn't start as a freshman, but he led the team in tackles, and if I'm not mistaken, he's the only freshman to do that.
Yep.
He was originally brought as a defensive end, and James Franklin said, we're going to move you to linebacker.
But your body of evidence is just 2019 for the most part.
That's good. That's a good body. That's good body. That's a good body.
Here we go.
No mercy. 36. LeBron James, like he's 26.
LeBron, he saw it and watch him call it. He's going to call it.
LeBron fadeaway. Oh, he hit it. Oh, my goodness.
LeBron with the hammer. And one.
LeBron with 2.
Lets it fly. And hits.
Oh, he turned the other way. Logo 3 for LeBron.
You just have to bow down.
I've been missing him. Well, the Lakers, though, they do have Anthony Davis back for the second straight game, but it also ended in a loss to the Mavericks. The Lakers have now lost 4 of their last 5 and 5 of their last 7, leaving them 5th in the West. They did get some good news, though, with reports that LeBron could be back as soon as next week. And just this morning, he posted a workout video of him running on the court with a caption that says, "Coming soon to a city near you." Shannon, do you still think they'll be the best team when LeBron returns? He's working out.
Did he post that like
his reps in.
he wasn't embarrassed by that?
What embarrassed about what?
He's just barely jogging.
good.
He's going like 1 mile an hour.
It won't be long now. Yeah. Skip, look, I still believe in the Lakers. The question is, we see how rusty AD doesn't have the legs. All his shots are short, Skip, coming up short, to reintegrate him into the system. Because I think the thing was, Skip, and I think we all agree, they're not a better team, but they were playing better prior to Anthony Davis coming back. Now, things change because now the offense is going to run through AD. Guys are not getting as many shots. Guys are not getting as many minutes. Guys don't feel as free as they once did. And this is going to be very nice. You see, Saturday night, Trez had a DNP coach's decision. So I don't know how well that's going over in the locker room right now, but we'll discuss that another day in time. Skip, I think when you add the best player in the world, things are obviously going up. And when you look at it, the Lakers are the only team that have deep playoff experience, championship experience. So for me, I like them. Look, I don't think, even with LeBron coming back, the Nuggets in the 4th spot is 4 games clear. They're not catching the Clippers. They're not catching the Suns. They're not catching Utah. So the best they could hope for is stay in the 5 spot and not go to the 6th spot and then have a first-round matchup against the Denver Nuggets. But they're going to have to do something about the high pick and roll.
Oh.
The high pick and roll killed them. They took, because at the first half, Luka was getting trapped in the corner. He was getting the ball out of Luka's hand. So what they did, they went to the high pick and roll, and so now Powell is getting layups and dunks all night long. He was 11 to 12. All dunks and layups, Skip. So it didn't matter. Drummond didn't do a good job defending. I don't know if you blitz it or you hedge it, but for whatever it was, it didn't work. And we know Marc Gasol couldn't do the pick and roll because he, as you say, glacially now.
Yep.
But Skip, I just always go back. Every little thing is going to be all right. It's going to be all right. Coming to a city near you.
Really?
Yeah, Saturday, Sunday. I got a strong feelings. Probably Monday next week. Skip.
So before I launch on this, I'm sorry, I got to ask that we show that Instagram post. Did he get hacked? Did somebody else put this up?
Nah.
Like, was this some secret video of LeBron? Because is he proud of this? I mean, is this supposed to scare people?
Skip.
He's barely running.
Just think about what he was doing.
Are those sprints?
Guess what he was doing? Guess what he was doing a week ago? Guess what he was doing 2 weeks ago? Guess what he was doing 3 weeks ago? Nothing.
He ran harder than that to get back on defense after he sprained his ankle before he came out of the game.
See, you worry about the wrong thing.
I don't get how anybody could be afraid of that. Like, a storm is coming.
Skip.
I mean, seriously, do you think he's running hard there? Or do those qualify as wind sprints?
A lion, you afraid of a lion, whether he on the hunt or is he sleeping? You afraid of him, right? You ain't bothering him.
Yeah, but what are you? Would you be proud of that? Would you be proud to post that?
It's a huge accomplishment. We run it. Let you know.
I don't even know. Obviously, I'm way older than LeBron. Sunday is always my hard day. I run every day, but I run hard on Sunday by my standards. Trust me, I run faster than that for 8 miles. Every step of 8 miles, I run faster than that. Every step. Maybe twice as fast as that.
Let me ask you a question. You coming off a high ankle sprain?
Nope.
Okay, then.
I'm coming off 45 other things, but I don't have a high ankle sprain.
And nothing recently. No. You ain't coming off nothing recently.
I don't know. My knees ache and my hips ache and everything else aches. My back hurts, but I still do it. And I get away with it.
Well, LeBron James. But here's the thing, though, Skip. Just imagine if you had to do that and you actually needed to win those to feed your family. Feed Ernestine to get a nice car.
I got it. But I invite LeBron to come with me. I got a nice course here in Cheviot Hills on Sunday. He can come run with me.
He don't want to run with you. He don't want to run outside. Skip.
We could have a nice conversation.
He don't want to talk to you. I keep telling you, he don't want to talk to you.
If he had enough wind to talk while he was running.
He don't want to talk to you.
I do.
First of all, if you could talk while you running, you ain't running hard enough. Because I watched Kipchoge, he ain't doing nothing. He just ran 204. Did you see him run that 204 so easy? He wasn't doing no talking. I noticed they don't do no talking. Even when they try to motion to get somebody, look, I done led for the last couple of miles. I need you to come break some of this draft. They motion. They don't do no talking. So you talking, let me know you ain't running hard enough. But when Shay get his old hip fixed, I'll be out there. Blow the doze off you, too.
Okay, all right. Well, I welcome you. I invite you.
1 mile.
1 mile?
1 mile. That's all I got.
No, it's an 8.
No,
it's
1.
a course. I will be start to finish.
Well, hey, I'm going to have somebody pick me up at mile.
All right, now back to the real world. Back to your issue at hand. You still don't have a Dwight Howard, and it's killing you because you don't have the edge and physicality as a post defender. You tried to add the big penguin. He's not that guy.
Drum will be just fine.
Drum, or is it Andre Rumman? Because there's no D in... I think it's Kareem Abdul-Rahman.
You
right?
saw those
no
block.
D.
Did you not see the block shots?
Yeah, I don't see the physicality. I think he's a really nice guy. He's like LeBron. He's too nice for his own good. He's a smart guy, a nice guy, and he's not Dwight Howard. I don't think he's JaVale. JaVale played with some edge. He scared people. Dwight scared people. When it was time to go at Jokic and just bother him and beat on him, that's what Dwight could do. I don't think Dre can do that. I'm sorry.
We're going to be just, Skip, when we're whole again. Right now, we're not whole.
Okay, and you already pointed it up. You had a big DNP, and it was Trez. And what happened with the Clippers last year? When they got deep in the playoffs and they finally ran into Jokic, he could not defend Jokic. He was a disaster. He was a liability against Jokic.
Hell, everybody's a liability against Jokic.
No, well, Dwight wasn't. Dwight changed that series for you.
Yes.
Okay.
But Skip, you have to also look at it. But how much did Dwight play against Houston?
Well, they had to mix and match.
Exactly. So Trez might not. There might be a series that Trez get limited minutes.
Okay.
There might be a series that Keith Morris get limited minutes. But when they call you, you got to be ready, Skip.
Okay. So the Clippers had internal dissension caused by Montrez. I get that. But in the end, they just said he doesn't defend at a high enough level for us to pay him that kind of money that you guys did cash in and pay him.
He'll be just fine. When Go get back, Skip, Go's making everything.
Going to be just fine? Okay.
Yeah, they got massaging Go's now. They walk on your back and relax everything. This guy come back, he's going to make everything okay.
Really?
Watch it. Watch how everything just fall into place.
So Kevin Durant just steps back on the floor and makes his first shot, and he's played all of 24 games this year, 25 yesterday. And AD comes back, and he's just covered with rust. It's like he's got an extra 20 pounds of rust on his body.
Skip.
And he doesn't have his legs, and he shoots 7 of 29 in those 2 games against Dallas. That's 24%, and misses all 7 of his 3-point shots.
But here's the thing, though, Skip. When the AD's injury, he probably didn't do anything for what? The first 5 weeks? He didn't get any shots. He had to stay completely off that. At least KD with a hamstring injury, he could still shoot. So... You don't want to get a guy no time. You just expect him to come back in. KD is unique. There have been a lot of guys that in football, you see guys miss time and they come back and pick right where. Everybody can't do that, Skip. That's not a knock. That doesn't diminish that guy. That Kevin Durant is historically great. Let's give KD credit without trying to diminish what AD's done. But I'm not worried about it. All I'm just saying, let's stay in the 5 spot and let's see if the Nuggets want to deal with us.
And finally, Andre Drummond is, I felt for him on Saturday. I looked up late in your game on Saturday, and he is trending. And I'm thinking, he's trending why? And I scanned all the responses and the replies. Laker Nation is angry with his defense. Well, he's never had anybody pay any attention to him because he's 0-8 in playoff games, and he's played in Detroit and Cleveland, and nobody cares.
Right.
Well, do you realize the hot seat he's about to be on?
Yeah, he understands that.
He'll be the fall guy. Everybody's going to look to him like, you better measure up.
Right.
You better carry your weight.
I mean, he understands that he's the last line of defense. He's going to rebound. They're not asking him to give what we had one of those games, Skip. He was like 20 points and 17. He's like 14, 15 points and 19 rebounds. We don't need that. We need him to challenge people. He does a good job of that, but he's going to just have to get better at the pick and roll. That's it. He'll be fine.
You keep saying, we'll be fine, and it's like a guy who's whistling through the graveyard, right?
No mercy. Don't miss the return of former heavyweight champ Andy Ruiz as he takes on rugged veteran Chris Arreola. It all goes down in 5 days live pay-per-view. The Browns picked up Baker Mayfield's fifth-year option over the weekend, but according to reports, that doesn't mean Cleveland is sold on the quarterback for the future. Mary Kay Cabot is reporting that the Browns and Baker have not even entered any talks about getting into a long-term deal done. So, Shannon, do you expect the Browns to sign Baker to a long-term deal?
Well, Skip, there's no rush. I mean, he's going into his fourth year. They picked up the option. I would see what he does after this season before I enter into a long-term agreement, because we see where the market is, Skip. $40 million is his starting point now. And so Dak just got $40 million, 75 the first year. What's it going to be, 41? 80 guaranteed the first year? So, Skip, the price is only going up. But I don't see what Baker has done to warrant the extension this early. At least Lamar Jackson says, I won an MVP. I've gone to I've made 3 playoff appearances. I've won the division. Josh Allen can say, I've won a division. I've gone to the playoffs twice. I finished second in the MVP. What's on Baker's resume? Gone to 1 playoffs, never won the division, never been in the MVP discussion. So for me, I think these other 2 guys, Skip, are probably more in line to getting something done this summer as opposed to Baker. If I'm the Cleveland Browns, I'm not doing a deal with Baker. I'm not giving excuse me. I'm not giving $160, $170 million extension for a guy that's only gone to the playoffs once, never won the division, and never been an MVP candidate. So for me, I'm not doing anything until after the season, 2021 season.
Okay, so are you saying that you believe Baker will not last in Cleveland? Do you think he'll be gone after next year?
No, I'm saying I'm not even, as Mary Kay Cabot said, they haven't even entered the discussion. So that lets me know, because, Skip, if you look at the guys that got these deals, you look at Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz had won a division and helped lead his team to a Super Bowl. You look at Jared Goff. Jared Goff had won the division, led his team to a Super Bowl. Baker Mayfield has done none of this. So I believe Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen would be more in line to get a deal, get something done this summer, as opposed to Baker Mayfield. Now, he comes out, builds on what he did last year. Well, Skip, it's a no-brainer. But as of right now, I'm not doing anything. I don't really need to.
By the way, Carson Wentz did not lead his team to a Super Bowl. He played no playoff snaps.
Skip, he had won 11 games before he got hurt. They were going to win the division because they were 4 games clear of everybody. So he was going to win the division. So on his resume, he has 2 division titles.
And where is he now?
In Indy, about to get another one.
Oh, is he?
He sure is.
And Philly said, we screwed up and we eat that. What would they, like 39 million in dead cap money?
Well, what did Dallas do? Dallas said, we screwed up. We got to pay $75 million. Y'all ate that.
And the Rams said, we screwed up and we will eat 24 dead cap dollars, 24 million dead cap dollars. Really? 39 million and $24 million mistakes made by the Rams and the Eagles?
But let me ask you a question.
Wow.
Both teams felt that they could get better at that position. Do the Browns feel they can get better at that position? Is that why they're waiting?
Okay, so I ask you, I'm going to nail you down on this. Do you think Baker Mayfield will get a long-term deal with the Cleveland Browns? Yes or no?
Yes, but not this year.
Okay, but yes means he'll get one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what's the discussion? Does Lamar have a long-term deal nailed down? No, he does not. Does Josh Allen? I don't know what they're doing. Have they even started?
Do you believe they're working on a deal?
With Baker?
No, with Lamar and Josh Allen.
I have no idea.
I believe they are working with those two.
Do you know that for a fact?
No, I don't.
Okay, because I haven't seen one report about we're negotiating.
Well, we keep it hush-hush.
Oh, okay. Well, my point is...
Because if we tell everybody, people like you gonna sabotage it and talk about, well, I don't know what the rush is. I don't know why they would do it.
Okay. How do you know that they haven't at least had some preliminary discussions with Baker's
I
representatives?
trust Mary. Look here, when it comes to Cleveland Browns, Mary Kay Cabot is the oracle.
Okay, but how do you know that maybe it doesn't qualify as full-on negotiation? How do you know they haven't at least had discussions?
The only thing they
What
had-
are you thinking? What do you think?
They're like, Baker, you well? That's it. And they hung the phone up. They ain't talking about no money.
So you continue to overlook the fact, discount the fact that
What?
Baker Mayfield has played for 4 head coaches in 3 seasons. You continue to overlook the fact that he's played for 4 offensive coordinators in 3 seasons. That team has been a clown show for the previous 2 seasons.
That's what happens. When the
two.
quarterback doesn't play well, you get a lot of different head coaches. You get a lot of different
his fault. Really?
He's the quarterback.
Oh, interesting. So what happened last year, all of a sudden Cleveland took off. And they took off because 2 things happened. The quarterback took off, but obviously Odell Beckham Jr. was not there for the run.
There you go.
Well, it can't be just coincidental that in week 7, I'm going to knock on wood for him, that he has a quick recovery. He got hurt, and all of a sudden Baker took off because he was no longer Odell-centric. He wasn't Odell-obsessed. He wasn't forcing every read to Odell, trying to keep him happy and keep him involved in the middle of everything that happened on offense. And all of a sudden, the ball started to spread. And all of a sudden, they took off.
Did Chubb and Kareem Hunt take off too?
Well, sure they did.
Okay.
But what's the oldest cliche in football? Running game is the quarterback's best friend.
Hey, Mahomes, they have one.
Yeah, he did.
What running game?
He had a running game.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire?
Yeah.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire was doing so good.
Yeah.
They
Remember,
signed
Damian
Le'Veon Bell.
Damian Williams should have been the MVP of the Super Bowl that he won. You don't take go look at the numbers he put up in the Super Bowl.
Skip.
I didn't do anything. You just said he didn't have a running game. Go look at it.
Oh my goodness.
Well, tell me what happened. Tell me he couldn't have been the MVP of that game.
He could have, Skip.
Yeah.
He could have.
I mean, your guy threw an interception at the end of the 3rd quarter and one early in the 4th quarter and overcame it.
So in this last Super Bowl, one of those defensive players couldn't have been MVP for Tampa.
It's quarterback's game. Well,
okay, Mahomes is a quarterback and won the MVP.
But did Brady throw any interceptions? Mahomes threw one late in the 3rd, early in the 4th, and they were down 20-10 when he threw both.
What about that big time? What about that big time throw? 3rd and 15.
Yeah, where
44 yards.
Covered his eyes. He put one hand over his eyes and threw it as far into the ground as he could. And Tyreek had to stop, turn, come back, and fair catch it.
So do you believe Baker Mayfield deserves the contract extension?
Yeah, I would go ahead and do it sooner than later because he showed me who he is. He goes on that run. They go 8-2 over those 10 games, including winning a playoff game on the road against your arch rival at Pittsburgh. And in that run, he goes 19 touchdowns to 2 interceptions. Is that good?
Did he beat Lamar?
Pro Football Focus said he ranked 4th best in the league behind Aaron Rodgers, Deshaun, and Tom Brady in that stretch over those 10 games. Actually, you can include for Pro Football Focus the 11th game, which was the loss at Kansas City. He still ranked 4th best graded quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah.
Is that good enough to get a contract? Yeah.
I'm glad you brought that up because against Kansas City, Mahomes went out the second play of the 3rd quarter. And at that point in time, the Browns was down like 5 points, and Baker Mayfield got the ball back with 5 minutes. Will you tell the people at home what happened?
Henny given Sunday, right? Henny given Sunday. It's Chad Henne. That's what happened.
Baker Mayfield
Did he not play even better than Mahomes had?
3 and out. That's what he did. Down 5 with a chance to cement his legacy.
Yep.
3 and out.
What did you see for the previous 10 games? You saw a #1 overall pick play like it.
I saw Lamar Jackson go into the locker room and be watching the game. Watching the game. He says, oh, Baker Mayfield think he better than me. Ran out there, grabbed his helmet, and ran right down the field.
Yep.
And did a number on it. That's what I saw.
Yeah. What was Baker doing? He was putting up big numbers.
Catching the L.
Yeah. Okay.
Got another L.
Okay.
That's what he was doing.
Well, his defense did not rise.
No, whoa. You didn't mention nothing about no defense when you talk about that stretch that he played. Those 10 games, he had 19 touchdowns, 2 picks. You ain't mentioned the defense. Now Baker Mayfield.
Well, I just want you on record as saying that you think he won't get a long-term contract. So if you say he will, then what's the point of this?
No, Skip. No. I'm saying there shouldn't be a rush. There should not be a rush to do Baker Mayfield.
But you're saying if there shouldn't be a rush, then you're saying there's still doubt in their minds.
Yes. Let him do the 4th year.
Okay,
He
so
plays. Yeah.
You say he's playing for a long-term contract next year.
Yes.
I think he's already earned a
I
long-term.
don't think he's already earned it.
Okay, well, then you think there's a chance he won't get it.
There's a chance, yes.
But you already just said he would get a long-term contract.
He's playing for the Skip. If he plays, I'm saying, you say do it now before year 4. I'm saying do it. Let's see what happens in year 4.
But you just told me he will get a long-term contract. Then you said he's playing for one.
If.
Well, then you have doubts about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's
I
not
got you.
I keep
You're on record as saying you don't know whether he's going to get a long-term.
You keep saying that he's better than Lamar.
Doubt.
You keep saying he's better than Lamar and Josh Allen, and he's not.
I said he should go first in that draft, and I'm sticking by it.
He went first, but who's the better quarterback as we speak?
Right now, because we're not figuring anything out right now.
No mercy.
Kamaru Usman successfully defending his UFC welterweight title over the weekend with an impressive knockout punch on Jorge Masvidal. Conor McGregor was less impressed and said Usman was copying his moves in the octagon, tweeting, "Can't be copying my words and my shots and not get a smack for it. I like 170. It's mine soon." Shannon, what shot do you give Conor McGregor to beat Usman here?
Skip, it's MMA. You know, anything can happen. This is a lot different than boxing.
True.
Yeah.
To say he has no shot, but I would be willing to put my money on Kamaru Usman. Skip, this dude, he did it. I don't think anybody thought he could stand with Jorge Masvidal and win. Everybody expected him because he has a wrestling background, take him to the ground like he did last time, stall him out on the ground, and win unanimously that way. But no, he stood up. I think Masvidal got overconfident because he said, he got no power in his shots. But Skip, he did something.
That's what he thought from the first fight.
From the first fight. If you watch what Usman did, Skip, anytime you throw a punch, you open yourself up to take a punch. If you watch what Usman did, he slaps his right hand down.
He did.
And came over with a flush shot, and then boom, it was over. Now, very few people can throw a punch or a shot that's off balance. I've seen Roy Jones Jr. do it. I've seen Floyd Mayweather throw shots, but not MMA fighters because they're not the boxing background like a boxer. Usman's for real. Now, he should be pound for pound. Khabib is gone.
Yeah. If in fact he's gone and we think he is.
Right, well, he's gone. He hadn't fought an extended period of time.
Yeah, I agree.
John Jones has been over a year. Now, the only person that, for me, in contention for best pound for pound is Amanda Nunes.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, if you want to put Amanda Nunes in there, okay, fine. But right now, Usman is where it's at. Conor, you don't want these kind of problems. He need to focus on Poirier. Skip, he's lost 2 of his last 3 fights. He's lost 3 of his last 6 fights. Some of that shine is good. All that brash talking, bro, you getting carried. You getting slapped in the ring. So I don't get what the braggadocious. Conor, Skip, he can sell a fight better than anybody. But I don't know if he want these kind of problems from Usman.
This is not the Nate Diaz that he went up to 170 to get revenge over.
Yeah, this guy's technical.
This guy is
for real, Skip.
Fierce, for real. So before I answer Jenny's question about what shot I would give Conor, I do want to point out that Usman has idolized Conor almost to a fault because he has copied him in and out of the octagon. If we could see the TikTok that demonstrates out of the octagon, please.
Any one of these melody fools can get it.
Any one of these fools can get it. Any one of them.
I like Dustin. I think he's a good fighter. He's even a great fighter, but great is still levels below me.
He's a great fighter. I take nothing away from him. He's a great fighter. But even great's not enough when it comes to me.
I need to see active. I need to see activity.
They can all get it. They need to show me some activity. Show me some activity.
Yeah. It's red panty night when you decide to fight me, back at home with your wife.
I have what everybody wants. It's green panty night when you fight me.
You can't even read.
First of all, can you even read?
Okay. I get it, because he's the greatest showman maybe I've ever seen in any sport. I've never seen anybody pre-event better than he is. He can sell it the way nobody can. But I'm afraid he sold out to Floyd Mayweather Jr. And again, I thought he hung in with him. What was it, the 10th round he got to? But he made $100 million, somewhere thereof. It's so much money that it takes some of your heart away, some of your drive away. It's harder to get up and go train when you just made $100 million. And I'm not seeing the same Conor because he's just not as hungry as he used to be. So does he really want this? He wanted to get back at Khabib, and you know what would have happened?
Exactly.
I'm afraid he would have not walked out of the octagon.
Yeah, Conor is a stand-up fighter. Yeah, if you stand up with him, trade blows, because he got boxing background, even though he really never fought professionally with the exception of that one time when you fought against Floyd. But he has more of a boxing background. This guy's a wrestler. This guy can take you. You see how easy he took Masvidal down? Masvidal is notorious for his kick. Knocked Ben Askren smooth out, the fastest knockout in the UFC history. He blocked it, caught him, boom, on his back. Just like that. If Conor can't keep Khabib off him, how the hell he gonna keep Usman off him at 170?
Plus, Usman's such a better striker than he used to be, because I was shocked the way I've never been shocked watching UFC when he caught Masvidal flush in the jaw and knocked him cold.
Out.
I didn't think I would see that.
And gave him a couple of extra. Take this with you. I know you out on the ground, but take this with you.
Well, yeah. If he can do that, so he could stand and trade with Conor in the middle of the ring, he's bigger, he's stronger, he's quicker. It's a lethal combination.
But Skip, Conor is struggling at 155. You trying to go up and come up 15 pounds? This dude, I mean, what you think Usman walks around at 185,
yes,
190?
I do. He has to come down to 170.
Yeah.
And again, Conor beat Cowboy at 170, and he got revenge on Nate.
That ain't Cowboy. That ain't Nate Diaz. Nope. Nate Diaz don't have the skills this man. Nate Diaz is a fighter. He's more of a Masvidal type of a guy.
Masvidal.
But these guys here, Skip, these guys are so technical now with the jiu-jitsu, with the wrestling background, and they can strike if they need to. I don't think Conor wants these kind of problems. He says he does, but I don't believe he does.
When Usman said afterward that I'm getting better, it gave me chills, because he's getting better and he's the best.
Does Conor forget that Poirier carried him? He slapped him, Skip.
He did.
And you want this?
Mm-hmm.
I think Conor just wants big paydays, Skip.
One more big payday.
No mercy. Rob Gronkowski, he returned to the University of Arizona to talk to the team, and he also set a Guinness World Record. Gronk successfully caught a football that was dropped 600 feet from a helicopter. The previous world record was 563 feet. So, Shannon, how impressive was this?
It's very impressive, but I'm going out there and say one today do 650. So.
No, you're not.
No. Skip, I think it's more impressive than people realize, because it's so hard to judge a ball that's dropped from that high up coming at that rate of speed. You see guys fumble punts, and punts is not nearly, they're not 100 feet in the air. So imagine 600 feet in the air, and the ball is coming down at that rate of speed. So it was more impressive than I think people give it credit for. So I'm impressed with it.
No receiver has ever caught a football traveling faster than that football was traveling.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
So way to go, Gronk. Only Gronk could pull that off.
Only Gronk. Who thought of this? I think Gronk just be sitting around. What haven't somebody done?
Okay, I'm going to go do it. There's a lot of excitement surrounding Arizona right now. I just love this celebration as well. Great stuff today, guys. We'll be back same time tomorrow morning. The Herd is on right now. Have a good day.